We are so back. Hi guys. It has been quite a while, and mostly because I thought since I have run out of samples to review and give first impressions on, new ones at least, I thought I'd be out of content, but then I realized I can just do reviews of existing fragrances. So for the past few days, I've been wearing the subject of today's video, which is Hermes Caleche. This was a woman's release back in the 60s, I believe, by renowned perfumer. Might be already dead, I'm not sure, I'm not gonna curse it upon him. Guy Robert, famous for making Gold Man and Woman. The other, good Hermes release, and well, not like the other, the old one from the 60s, Equipage for Men, which I have reviewed and was thoroughly impressed by. This was released, I believe, before the release of Equipage. And so that, yeah, Caleche is very firmly in the white aldehyde floral realm of perfumes, following suit, such classics as Chanel's Number 5, Nombre 5, if you want to be a little French piss boy about it. And if I were to compare it to my memory of Chanel Number 5, because I do not have a sample or a decant of it to reference it directly, I'd say that Caleche is a bit less fizzy and vibrant. There's this feeling of mist, this fog that is just infused into the essence of Caleche. Yes, it has this coldness to it, the sense of cool, not in temperature per se. No, to me, when I smell this, it's a coldness of atmosphere. When I smell this, I go to the office of the fascist headquarters of Italy in the Bertolucci film, The Conformist, Il Conformiste. Incredible film. I suggest you watch it if you haven't. This very thought-provoking and yet quite thrilling retro noir film about a fascist officer who you don't know why he's a fascist, because he's a thinker and all of that, and it's just it kind of portrays his ideological conflict, and it shows a lot of people there as pieces of scum, rightfully so, and I don't mean just because they're fascists. It really shows you the human condition in a way. Going back to the fascist offices there, the scenes were shot in a way which portrays the spaces as massive compared to the protagonist, the officer Clericci. And, he was portrayed very, very puny, very tiny in this massive, cold, white marble space. And that's sort of what I get here. This fragrance it's bigger than you. It's shiny. It's smooth like marble. You know, when you're wearing Caleche, it's wearing you as much as you're wearing it. Which is a quality that I don't necessarily enjoy. But in this style of perfumery, you know, very old, opulent, Baroque is a word I've used to describe this sensibility that is found in more classical feminine releases, such as number 5, such as I'd get to the comparison with Arpège by Lanvin. Because I've heard from a good friend of mine, Jura Rose. Jura, if you're watching this, hi. Thank you for providing this insight that Guy Robert, while making Caleche and other perfumes, I think even like Gold Woman and Gold Man, he was inspired and, you know, his flame was fanned by Lanvin's Arpège. For women, of course, because Arpège is still in that aldehyde realm, but it has an oilier consistency there. It is much denser. You can see from the color. It might not make much sense if you haven't smelled Arpège, but it certainly is a darker aldehydic floral. You can feel this kind of almost nauseating wet wipe feeling to it, you know? It doesn't necessarily conjure wet wipes, but it's this kind of peachy texture together with creamy aldehydes that give forth this, not chemical, but unnatural. It's this unnatural, unsettling, slightly gothic backbone to Arpège. And stunning perfume as it may be, Caleche doesn't sportify it, but it brightens it up. You know, this is white. It's blindingly white. You don't want to look at it straight ahead. You know, the oiliness that is in Arpège is nowhere to be found in Caleche. It's, you know, the difference between them in more ways than one is just night and day. The only common point between them is, oh, the Arpège sample fell. The commonality between them is in that they both use, you know, creamy aldehydes. Not that green, but it gives this effervescence suspended in air, in that you sense these spiky edges of both perfumes, and yet they're not just stabbing you in the nostrils repeatedly like, say, a straight citrus perfume. No, the pointiness and the fizz here in number 5, in Arpège, to a even greater extent in Zerjov's Pikavaya Dama, which I think is rather too expensive for what they were asking. You get the sense, I'm repeating myself here, it's still in its fizziness. It's still in its effervescence. The bubbles are there, but they're not popping constantly, you know? And it's something I really appreciate in these classical white, floral, aldehydic fragrances. And I am saying white a lot because the moment that I smelled Caleche, I pictured in my mind a woman wearing all white, one of those very wide-brimmed sun hats, also white, a long sundress, also white, of course. Frills, I think, are a must here. You know, there are a lot of frilly designs going through my mind when I think of the woman wearing Caleche, because it's not subtle. It's classy for sure, but it isn't subtle. Tell you what, bridal set? Mayhaps. It, because I'm saying white. It is formal enough to where I could say this would be either the quintessential bridal scent or a surefire way to make the attendants know that you're the bride. Yeah. In terms of when I wear this, don't give a... Sorry, that's a bit too forward. In terms of when I'd wear this, I'd say all season. Maybe not the dead heat of summer, or maybe if I would wear it, it would be with less sprays. Does this fit my fragrance personality? 100% yes. On me, seeing as I am a man and not a woman, not that there's anything wrong with being a woman, Caleche comes across rather than, this cold, maybe even self-assured woman. The coldness of the marble here contributes to this, regal nature, this cold nature. This isn't an ice queen per se, but there's a shell to be broken here. On me, on the other hand, it just, makes me seem more feminine. Not necessarily a woman. Why did I say that? Whatever. It doesn't necessarily make me out to be like wholly effeminate, but when I put it on, I think it emphasizes my timid nature. It emphasizes more of my more vulnerable side, the side that is more in tune with my emotions. In terms of men, it's the guy that always hated playing sports ball in school. It's the guy that does poetry. It's the guy wearing a turtleneck sweater, but not in an obnoxious way. I hope. If in women, this is at your stone coldest, at your nice to meet you offering a limp hand. In men, this is a to be or not to be. That is the question. Whether it is noble or, it brings out the more dramatic side in men, is what I feel it would do to you. It's not melancholy, it's not, tragic. But in men, I think it's what makes you think that there isn't that big of a difference between men and women, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. So yeah, in summary, the place, cold marble, large spaces. This is a very baroque, opulent composition, reminiscent of Alpege, but brighter, cleaned up, wider, not as oily or as dense as Alpege. In women, I imagine an all-white dress, frills, white brimmed hat, bridal scent, and in men, this brings out your more dramatic, feminine side, and it in a way connects me with women. In a way, I hope that didn't sound weird. So, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment. I want to hear your take on Caleche, if you've worn it, if you haven't. Did my description excite you in any way? Did it make you want to go out and smell it? Yeah, I would like to hear your thoughts on it, and with that, I'm leaving you until the next video, which, who knows, might review Alpege, might review something else. See ya.